first purport to text 31 and 32 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 4, entitled Hiranyakasipu Terrorizes the Universe. So as Prabhupada said, these are some of the qualities of a Vaishnava. A Vaishnava is automatically a Brahmana because Vaishnava has all the good qualities of a Brahmana. So we are looking at the qualities of Prahlada Maharaja. Qualities of a pure devotee. So the qualification, the first quality of Prahlada Maharaj here, the first qualification of Prahlada Maharaj, he has unlimited, Prabhupada says some of the qualities. It means there are more, not just this one. There are more qualities of Prahlada Maharaj. So we're looking at some of them, just few of them here. Brahmanya. Prahlada Maharaj is a cultured Brahmana. Brahmanya, Sila Sampanna. Prahlada Maharaj has possess all good qualities, all good qualities. Sila Sampanna, Brahmanya, Sila Sampanna. He's a cultured person. Cultured person means what? Prahlada will never do anything outside the scripture. Prahlada will never do anything which is contrary to the regulations of the scriptures or the standard set by the acharyas. Prahlada will never do anything outside. His activities are within the compound. The compound, the jurisdiction of Bhakti culture. Prahlada's activities is within our Bhakti tradition, never outside. Cultured Brahmana with all good qualities, Was completely cultured as a qualified Brahmana. Not Brahmana by name, qualified Brahmana. What's a Brahmana? Qualified Brahmana is here. Prahlada Maharaj is peaceful, 100% peaceful. But when we look at Prahlada Maharaj's life, Hiranyakasipu himself, who was terrorizing the world, the heading is Hiranyakasipu terrorizes the universe. But Prahlada Maharaj terrorizes Hiranyakasipu. He is terrorizing the universe. Prahlada Maharaj terrorizing, but peacefully, no tension, no anxiety. We will see later on, Hirakasapu was vibrating, was shaking out of anger that he was unable to kill Prahlad. But Prahlad was 100% peaceful. So it is mentioned here. Sama is peaceful. It's peaceful. Hirakasapu was agitated, he was really tense, he was vibrating, he was shaking. Even his associates were telling him, please control yourself, because their enemies, the demigod, they are seeing that you are disturbed by a small boy. Hirakasapu couldn't control himself. But Prahlad was very peaceful, very peaceful. Very peaceful. Even in the presence of his mother being killed, Prahlad was still peaceful, because Hirakasapu killed his wife because of Prahlad, because he was supporting Prahlad. So who is the next person? The next person to be killed is Prahlad himself. But Prahlad was very peaceful, very, very peaceful. Sanatana Goswami was describing the quality of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is describing he was talking about Prahlad. Lord Shiva was talking about Prahlada Maharaja. He was talking about Prahlada Maharaja, Lord Shiva. Very interesting. What does he say? This is Lord Shiva speaking. Even if they have not repeated their three depths and are therefore transgressing Vedic principles, the power of their devotion to Lord Hari, by the power of the devotion to Lord Hari, they are ever fearless. They are ever fearless. Prahlada Maharaj is fearless. Why are they not affected by not paying their debt, even if they don't pay it? Why are they not affected? Why are they not afraid of being a debtor or even transgressing the very scriptures? Even if they transgress, why are they not fearful? He said, they are greedy to taste the pleasure of devotion to Lord Hari. Prahlada Maharaj, the spiritual verses, the Vaikuntha verses, the devotees, the pure devotees of Krishna in the spiritual world, they are greedy to taste the pleasure of devotion to Lord Hari, to Lord Krishna. They have no desire for anything else, no desire for anything else. To them, liberation, going to heaven, is the same as going to hell. The same. Liberation, desire for promotion to heavenly planet, it is the same as going to hell. So Sanatana Goswami said, fearlessness and freedom from selfish desires are spontaneous symptoms of those who enjoy the transcendental taste of Krishna consciousness. The residents of Vaikuntha are already perfect, but they humbly think themselves only potential candidates for Krishna Prema. Out of humility, this is the nature of pure devotees. They are not even interested in protecting themselves from threat to their lives. They are not even interested to protect themselves. They threat to their own life. They have no interest to learn. This is the nature of pure Prahlada. Damas is self-control. Prahlada is self-control. No, nothing disturbs him. The prestige of this material world, the fame of this material, they don't even want to have the same position with the Lord. Even though they are by contact with the Lord, they have no interest to feel happy because they are in the same kind of place. They don't see it. They only consider their devotion to Krishna. This is Prahlada. Tapa, very austere, simple, Socham, very clean, and tolerant. Prahlada Maharaja tolerated all the injustice, all the trade given to him by his father, his own father. So Prabhupada said, although at the age of Prahlad, who was just 5 years old, he does not need to pass through the torture the father gave to him. But Prahlad accepted all as nothing. Why? Because he was fully fixed in Krishna consciousness. He is firmly fixed in Krishna consciousness. Having very good character and being determined to understand the absolute truth. Determined to understand the absolute truth. These qualities are manifest in the body of a Vaishnava. Therefore, perfect Vaishnava is also a perfect Brahmana, as indicated here by the word Brahmanya Sila Sampanna. A Vaishnava is always determined to understand the absolute truth. And to understand the absolute truth, one needs to have full control over his senses and mind. Prahlad has what? Prahlad is determined in Krishna consciousness. The father wanted to change his interest in Krishna consciousness. He didn't succeed. Prahlad succeeded because of his determination. He was able to pass through all the obstacles without anxiety. So Prabhupada said, the Vaishnava is always determined to understand the absolute truth. Determined. He's ready to pay any cost. He's ready to pay any price. Vaishnava is ready to pay any price. For his Krishna consciousness, ready. Whatever it takes to satisfy Lord Krishna, Vaishnava is ready for that. Prahlada Maharaja is just showing that. Very determined. Hiranyakashipu has presented everything possible within his reach to dissuade Prahlad from his Krishna consciousness. He didn't succeed, he failed. Send him to school to be trained. He didn't succeed. The teacher couldn't change his mind. They couldn't make him a demon. They couldn't. They tried what they could do, they couldn't. Then Hiranyakashipu he took it upon himself to try many ways to kill him. He couldn't succeed in changing Prahlada Maharaja's mind from the devotional self from Krishna consciousness. And to understand the absolute truth, he needs to have full control over his senses and mind. Prahlada's senses and the mind were fully under control. So for a devotee to be successful, there's a need to purify the senses, to purify the mind. How can we purify the mind? Prahlada Maharaja was hearing from his spiritual master attentively. And when he came up from the womb, he practiced perfectly everything that he has heard from the spiritual master. So it is said here, he had full control of his senses and mind. Like the super soul, he was kind to every living entity and was the best friend of everyone. To respectable persons, he acted exactly like a menial servant. To the poor, he was like a father. To his equals, he was attached like a sympathetic brother. And he considered his teachers, spiritual masters, and older God brothers as good as the Supreme Personality of God. As good as the Supreme Personality of God. So Prahlada is a well-wisher. The Vaishnava is always a well-wisher to everyone. Here in the same canto, in the 7th canto, Prahlada Maharaja is praying to Lord Nrsimhadev. I am not worried about my own perfection, my purity, my success in Krishna cause. I'm not worried at all about my situation. I am simply concerned with all these karmis, all these sense gratifiers, all these conditions. I'm worried about the conditioned soul. This is my own anxiety. The anxiety of a devotee is how to help all conditioned souls to become Krishna conscious. This is Prahlada Maharaja life. He said, this is my worries. For me, I'm okay. I'm satisfied with my Krishna consciousness. This is not pride. This is not the pride. I'm satisfied with my Krishna consciousness because I know from experience how you have placed your hand on my head. So I'm satisfied in your shelter. What about those who do not have this shelter? Just see how people are suffering. This is Prahlada Maharaj. Quality of being the well-wisher of all living entities, not just some entities, all well-wishers, and all living entities, including those who try to kill him. Prahlada Maharaj is the well-wisher. Prahlada Maharaj said, look at these peaceful people practicing silence. Just see them doing meditation. I don't want this kind of life because this is selfishness. Give me blessing, give me power, give me strength, empower me to go to all the cities and towns, all the factories, and preach your glories to the conditioned soul. Allah is a well-wisher of all living entities. All living entities. Hirakasipu was surprised. Prahlada, who has given you power to override me? Who? Who is that person that has given you power to override me? Hello, Maharaj, you're asking my power and your power. The power is come from the same place. Your power, my power. We don't have anything. The same person of Krishna. But Vishnu is the supreme personality of God. He is the source of everything. Give up this your sinful, destructive mentality and take shelter of Lord Vishnu. Go to Vrindavan and become a devotee, practice Krishna consciousness. Say, oh, you don't have to tell me this. Who are you to tell me this? Who are you to tell me this? You prove intelligent. You want to teach me? I'm not teaching you. I'm not teaching you. You don't know anything. So I have to tell you the truth. That is why I came. The purpose of a Vaishnava, a possible devotee, is what? Is to help all conditions will become rectified, redeemed, became corrected. But I said, this is my purpose of coming. I appeared in your family for this reason. And how to do that? How to help you? The pure devotees are here to help us. They're not here to compete with us. They are simply here to help us. That is their duty. That is their business to help us. Yes. And we have to take their mercy, their help. If we want to be successful, we have to take their mercy. And Lord Shiva is speaking about Vaikuntha, pure devotees, and he also will speak about Prahlada Maharaja. So here, Sanatana Goswami giving purport to what Lord Shiva is speaking, and he said, these eternally liberated Vaikuntha Vasis are always helping others. Acting in the material world, they protect sincere persons from misunderstanding the principles of devotional service, and thereby falling down and being punished by the agent of Yamaraj. The Vaikuntha verses encourage the descent of advanced devotees into saintly families. They ask for the increased prosperity and influence of those devotees and render unseen help to the devotees' preaching, by which more and more conditioned jivas are brought back to Krishna consciousness. As instructing spiritual masters, the Vaikuntha Vasis and their representatives remove the obstacles of attachment to karma and jnana, and inspire their disciples in various ways to dedicate themselves fully to Krishna's service. This is what Prahlada Maharaja was doing throughout his life. Always looking for the ways to help conditioned souls. Always. It's all their duty. The purpose of coming is to help. Supporting those who are preaching Krishna consciousness, supporting, giving strength, giving more power. To help people become Krishna conscious. And Prahlada Maharaj is well-wisher of all living entities. He does not want to go back to Godhead alone. And at the end of it all, when Hiranyakashipu was killed, and Nrsimhadeva was so happy with Prahlad and appreciating all the difficulties that he passed through, Nrsimhadeva said, my dear Prahlad, I want to give you blessing. Ask me for any boon. Prahlad said, what is it you are talking? Am I a businessman? Am I not your devotee? Am I not your servant? What is my duty? My duty is to serve. So you want to pay me for what I have done, which I'm supposed to do? For my own purification? Want to pay me for that? My Lord, this is not what I'm expecting. The Singh said, but I want to bless you. It's okay if you want to give me something. Give it to this man who is so sinful. Give it to him. Just see the nature of a Vaishnava. So pure. And probably give an example also of the six Goswamis. For example, I described in this way. Dhira, Dhira, Jana, Priyao. They were popular with both the gentle and the ruffians. Prahlada Maharaja was preaching to the demons, he was also preaching to devotees. He was equal in his dealings with everyone. He was not looking at who was fit and who was not fit. He simply looked at all conditions as the object of his mercy. Therefore, he preached Krishna consciousness to the demons. He gathered all his classmates, all sons of the demons. Let me tell you, right from the beginning, we should begin our Krishna consciousness. Don't waste time with all these nonsense things the teachers are teaching. They are not teachers, they are actually demons. Don't listen to all these things. Don't worship Lord Vishnu, because that is the occupation for all living entities. Our eternal occupation is that we are devotees of Krishna and we are meant for serving Krishna. This is our eternal occupation. Just be a devotee of Lord Vishnu. And then you release the mantra. Sarvanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smanam. We're teaching this. It's polite. Very compassionate. The six Goswamis also, they are free with everybody. They are free, completely free with everybody. A Vaishnava must be equal to everyone, regardless of one's position. That's the Vaishnava. Prahlada was equal. Was equal to all. Atmatvat, Atmavat. A Vaishnava should be like a Paramatma. Paramatma. A Vaishnava should be like Paramatma. Paramatma stays with all living entities, all. Paramatma does not distinguish. Krishna described the quality. Brahmana Sampane, Vijayavina Sampane, Brahmana Gavihastini, Tasti, Suni, Tebashwapakecha, Panditaha Samadarashina. Samadarashi. The super soul is equal to all living entities. As Prabhupada mentioned here. Paramatma does not hate anyone. Indeed, he is in the heart of a Brahmana. But he is also even in the heart of a pig. He's a devotee. If a devotee does not have this quality, then he's not a devotee yet. Can we imagine if Srila Prabhupada were looking at, oh, you Malaysians, not qualified, how many of us would have been a devotee to? Who would be a devotee to? Srila Prabhupada was following the footsteps of Prahlada Maharaja, because at the same few devotees, they have the same quality, the same nature. Therefore, he didn't see who is qualified, who is qualified. He preached to everyone. When Srila Prabhupada came to Africa, East Africa, that was East Africa, Nairobi. First time Srila Prabhupada came to Nairobi in East Africa. So, Prabhupada saw that the devotees, the disciples whom he sent, they were preaching to the Indians only. Prabhupada came there and he said, this is not India, this is African country. So preach to the Africans, preach to the local people. He is not saying that he should not preach to everybody. You know, they already have this. So preach to these people, the local people here. Make them devotees. This is a country. And then they will finally they will have to do that. And Prabhupada gave the example. You go to the street and do Harinam. He went to the street and performed Harinam. Many people followed them to where they were staying. But another program have said to inform Papa, the hall is packed full. Papa immediately upon hearing that the hall was full, give him my cruiser. Let me go down and preach. From another people so no, they are not qualified to hear you. So we can take care of that. You don't have to worry yourself. You should preach to exalted personalities, not these low class people. Yeah, they just waste their time. We're going to take care, don't worry. The Papa shouted, "Are you going to tell me they or not?" Huh? Immediately, Brahmana said, "Oh, I'm sorry." And he gave Prabhupada his good time. Prabhupada came down and preached the same thing he preached in America, in London, in India, everywhere, the same thing. You are not the body, you are spiritual. The same thing. He preached everywhere. In this way, the Prabhupada did not see differences on the body. He knows that all of us, we are in different ways according to our karma. But we are all children of Krishna. Therefore, we need the mercy of Krishna. And his duty is to disciple that. Prahlada Maharaja does not see all the differences on the body. He always sees the soul. Therefore, he's able to preach. If one does not have this spirit of equality, we're not going to make it in our Krishna consciousness. Individually and also, we cannot make other people Krishna conscious. We cannot. Yes. We will not. And that is why we have a lot of difficulties. Because we have never realized the spirit soul in the body yet. We are expanding in diversity. We are expanding in diversity, but we are not uniting. Why there is so much diversity or no unity? So Papa wanted us to unite in diversity, unity in diversity. And he succeeded in doing that. But why are we not succeeding? Because we don't have this quality of seeing everyone equally, irrespective of our different karmic situations. We see the spirit soul and give Krishna consciousness based on that. It's only at this point, at this level, that there will be unity within diversity. As all of our acharyas did. Dhira, Jana, Priyo. The six Goswamis did. Prahlada Maharaja did. The Prabhupada did. Because they have this quality. As the moon never refuses to distribute its blessing rays, even to the home of a chandala, a Vaishnava never refuses to act for everyone's welfare. Never. Vaishnava never refuses to help anyone. Like His Holiness Bhakti has said, I don't care whoever one may be, whoever comes to me, I will love them equally. Whoever comes to me, whoever comes in contact with me, I'll show them my love. Whoever comes to me, I will show them my love equally. That's a Vaishnava character. That's a Vaishnava quality. To see compassion. Just like a father. A father may have an exalted son who is materially well situated. He may also have a child that is deformed, materially incapable, and otherwise. But the parent will not throw the child away. They will take care. That is nature. Because affection is there. The soul has come through their own biological system. Therefore, they care. In the same way, the Supreme Person of God is the Supreme Father of all living entities, and all his bona fide representatives have his qualities of seeing the way they see things. Pure devotees see the way Christians see things. We see according to our own conditioned way. But pure devotee does not see like that. The pure devotee, they have the eye of Krishna. They see through the eye of Krishna, the eye of the scripture. Shastra Chakshu. Shastra Chakshu. Therefore, Vaishnavas are always successful in helping conditioned souls to come up to the platform of God consciousness. Therefore, Vaishnavas, pure devotees, are very, very, very favored and loved by Krishna because they are exhibiting Krishna's qualities. So Krishna is very happy and pleased with his devotees. Like Prahlada. Therefore, a Vaishnava is always obedient to the spiritual master. Vaishnavas are always obedient to the spiritual master. When Lord Shiva was talking to Narada Muni about Prahlada Maharaja, I requested him that he should go and see Prahlada, who is a very dear, dear son of Krishna. Lord Shiva told Narada Muni, go and see Prahlada Maharaj. But when we go to Prahlada Maharaj, he is a disciple. He is a disciple. Therefore, don't glorify him. Don't glorify him, because if you glorify him, he will never listen to you. He will not even show himself to you. He will hide himself away. So don't glorify him. Don't offer him obeisance. Accept obeisance from him because he's your disciple. This is Prahlada. Very respectful, obedient to the spiritual master. The word Arya refers to one who is advanced in knowledge. One who is deficient in knowledge cannot be called Arya. At the present, however, the word Arya is used to refer to those who are godless. This is the unfortunate situation of Kali Yuga. Arya. The word Guru refers to the spiritual master who initiates his disciple into advancement in the science of Krishna or Krishna consciousness, as stated by Sri Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. The spiritual master is very obedient. Disciples are very obedient to the spiritual master. Prahlada Maharaj, very obedient. So Lord Shiva told him, Narada Muni, when you go to your disciple Prahlada, you should not offer him respect. You should accept respectful obeisances from him. Otherwise, if you glorify him, he's going to run away from you because he won't tolerate that. He is very, very obedient, very devoted, very appreciative. He recognizes the position of his helper, his guide, his teacher. You are his spiritual master, so he has full respect for you. He will listen to you and carry out your order without any second thought, because he has full respect and obedience. He's very obedient. That is Prahlada, an exalted personality. Therefore, we take example from the pure devotees. Become very determined in our Krishna consciousness. Practice how to control the senses and the mind. treat everyone very nicely, very kindly. And honor full respect to the spiritual master who is guiding and training us in Christian consciousness. Our life will be successful by their costlessness. This is the principle Prahlada Maharaja established for all of us. The Prahlada Maharaja, Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank you for the wonderful explanation, Guru Maharaj. You mentioned one point, Guru Maharaj, the purpose of pure devotees to help the conditioned souls to be redeemed or to be rectified. And they do not come here to compete with us. They are here to help us. So how we can, like within the family of devotees, the community of devotees, how we can remove this tinge of competition among devotees?
Competition is a sign of our ignorance.
Yes.
It's a sign of our ignorance that we are not yet well groomed or well aligned with our tradition, with our system. We are not yet refined. We are still crude. We are still unrefined. That is the sign of ignorance. That we are still acting on the bodily platform. On the bodily platform, we can see all these all these narratives being displayed before us. We do everything with the pride. It's all the body. It's just we're still on the body platform. So how do we rectify this? We should hear about the danger of all these narratives which are blocking us from making progress in our Christian consciousness. Like pure devotees having interest in helping us. We can also practice this by passing the same message to all our brothers and sisters. That we are still on the body, superiority and inferiority complex. Both are on the body. I'm superior to you, you are inferior to me, I'm inferior to you, you are superior to me. These are all bodily activities. Means we have not advanced much. So we should know that we are still, it is better for us to know that we are still on an elementary level. Therefore, we should hear regularly to be able to hear this thing, all these things to be pointed out to us so we can know them. That, oh, this is where I am, I'm still on a low level. Therefore, I have to intensify my practice so that I can get rid of all these narratives by the mercy of my spiritual masters or the sadhus I'm associating with. You see the Prahlada Maharaja here. He never feel superior to anyone. He never. And here it is mentioned that we should be very determined in our Christian consciousness, determined to become successful in Christian consciousness. These are part of the tools we need to work to use in our Christian consciousness. Determination. That's what Prabhupada said. A vessel is always determined to understand the absolute truth. And to understand the absolute truth, one needs to have full control over his senses and mind. So our senses are still not controlled, they're not controlled. Therefore, they are engaging us in low activities. I'm better than you. I have more this than you. I'm more famous than you. You're inferior to me. All these are narratives. Allah has never feel like this to anybody. Rather, he feels himself to be nobody. All right?
Yes, thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Sanatana Goswami said, the recited of Vaikuntha are already perfect, but they humbly think themselves only potential candidate for Krishna Prema, for Prema Bhakti. Only the thing. They don't see themselves. They are there, but they don't see themselves like that. So if we don't see like this, means we should have a serious work to do. We have to work on ourselves more. Working on ourselves more means that we have to really put effort in our practice. Any other questions or comments?
From our side, maybe from devotees who are connected from the port.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev, Sukadev Goswami Prabhu has a question. You can ask your question, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much for the wonderful class, beloved Gurudev. Shila Gurudev, I have 3 questions, if you permit me.
All right.
My first question is in regards to, you said something about Brahmana culture. Prahlada Maharaj, he displayed the perfect Brahmana culture. Now, in this particular day and age, especially in this Kali Yuga, it is very difficult for us to be very, very pure, like strict or first class in that culture, that Brahmanical culture. And sometimes we find out that we mix this culture, this Brahmanical culture, we mix it with different things. Now, Prahlada Maharaj, he was born from the womb of a mother that is very, very pious and chaste. And now, in this day and age, we in this present day and age, we are born in different families that by the mercy of the spiritual master, we come to know about Brahmanical culture and etiquette and everything like that. But still, that natural inhibition based on the natural upbringings that we have, it still pulls us here and there. And hence it becomes difficult for us to truly practice that Brahmanical culture in earnesty, because sometimes we miss it, like Brahmana is not supposed to lie, a Brahmana is not supposed to cheat, but sometimes we find out that we mix these two together once in a while. So how do we understand this, beloved Gurudev? This is my first question.
Yes, your question is the next verse. The next verse, we're looking at text 31 and 32. The next one, text 33, the Sukadeva Goswami said, No digna chitu vyasaneshu Nishpriha Shute Sadishte Shuvuneshu Avashtu Drik. Dantendriya Prana Hairadi Sada Pasanta Kamun Prakita Suro Shura. Although Prahlada Maharaja was born in a family of Asuras, he himself was not an Asura, but a great devotee of Lord Vishnu. Unlike the other Asuras, he was never envious of Vaishnavas. He was not agitated even when put into danger. And he was never directly or indirectly interested in the fruitive activities described in the Vedas. Indeed, he considered everything material to be useless. And therefore, he was completely devoid of material desires. He always controlled his senses and life air, and being of steady intelligence and determination, he subdued all lusty desires. Papa said in the purport, from this verse, we discover that a man is not qualified or disqualified simply by birth. Prahlada Maharaja was an Asura by birth, yet he possesses all the qualities of a perfect Brahmana. Brahmanya Sila Sampanna. Anyone can become a fully qualified Brahmana under the direction of a spiritual master. Prahlada Maharaja provided a vivid example of how to think of the spiritual master and accept his directions calmly. This is the beauty of Krishna consciousness, that it is not by birth, by quality, by practice. Our example, they fought seriously, they cast Brahmanas. They fought for us and defeated them and won the battle. And today we can practice. We the Kiratas can take to Krishna consciousness. We are Kiratas, according to the scripture. So Prabhupada mentioned that. The Kiratas, the Pulindas, the Chandalas, the Swapachas. Now we have the opportunity to practice Krishna consciousness. Why? Because our acharyas have made the sacrifice based on the scripture. They didn't concoct it, it is scriptural. Perfect example is Prahlada Maharaj. So we have the chance that although we are not born in an exalted family, but because we are spirit soul, there is a chance for us to become devotees if we simply follow the ways of the acharyas. Harinama no Kirtanam. We should simply follow the footsteps of the acharyas. Just follow whatever they have told us to do. We just do this without competing. Don't look at other people, what they do. We just see what we need to do, what we have to do within our jurisdiction. We will succeed. It will take some time because you're not on the same level. It will take some time, but success is guaranteed because the process of Krishna consciousness works for everybody. So we may not be born in an exalted family and have exalted qualities. But those born in exalted families and have exalted qualities, their importance is to help all of us be pulled to their level and eventually send us back to body. That is their prime duty. And Krishna never forgets to send us such personalities. Although there are not many, but Krishna never forgets that any yuga that he never sent. He always sending. all the time. Whatever is our level, that is not a problem. The problem is that we should just connect to the system and just follow it as it is. That's all. We should not worry about, oh, when am I going to get it? We should not worry about it. We should simply do what we have to do. When we will get it there, when we will get there, we'll get there. So let us just start the journey. We'll get there by your mercy. All right.
Yes, beloved Gurudev. Thank you very much, beloved Gurudev. My second question was in regards to faith. You did made mention that Prahlada Maharaj, although he was being pushed and really chastised by his father, his faith never went down. Now, in Prahlada Maharaj's case, we do know that he became Krishna conscious because he had attentively to his spiritual master. Now, in our present situation, especially in this Kali Yuga, we've been hearing that faith is important, faith is important, faith is important. But still, our faith keeps fluctuating based on our situation. If our situation is in a good condition, our faith is okay. If our situation is bad, our faith is a bit shaky. Now, and they say we should keep chanting the Hare, we should keep chanting the holy name of the Lord. But Prahlada Maharaj, he only had strong faith in the Lord. He wasn't given like a specific mantra by his spiritual master that he should chant this mantra. But us in this Kali Yuga, we are given a mantra by our spiritual master. We should chant this mantra. We should chant. We should listen to the classes, to the holy name, and to Srimad Bhagavatam. But still, our faith keeps fluctuating. How do we rectify this, beloved Gurudev? How do we truly understand what is happening to us, beloved Gurudev?
Our faith will be according to the level of our advancement, our level of our purity. For those who are pure devotees, their faith is also very strong, perfect, pure. Nothing will shake them. Nothing. Look at the Pandava. Look at what they passed through. Their faith never shake. Look at Prahlada Maharaja. Look at what happened to him. But look at his faith. He never shake. It's because of their level. The level is very high, so they exhibit that. Our purity is not so high, therefore our faith is always shaking, like you're saying. So what's the solution? Let us just continue. That's all. Let us just continue. And Prabhupada has a full conviction in what he has given to us. Just come and sit down here and hear. That's all. It will be perfect. It's a proper conviction about what he has given to us. Just continue to hear Krishna consciousness. If you practice hearing, one day we will hear, and that is our perfection. The day we will hear, that is finished. Material life is finished. The day we will hear. Let us continue practicing hearing. One day we will hear. Practice makes perfect. So we should not relax about hearing. So the Prabhupada said this movement is meant for hearing. ISKCON is meant for hearing. We should continue to hear. If you hear, Prabhupada said, he promised us. We should hear. He established ISKCON to give opportunity for us to hear. So let us continue to hear. Even just that, even if we don't do anything, the Prabhupada says to hear. Okay, our child, our body says to hear. Just keep hearing. What he promised us will come. The accumulation of all this practice, one day we will be purified enough to hear, and that is the end of our material existence. Because by then we start to practice, we become very fixed and determined. But that determination, our senses and mind will control. And we are on the way back to God. Our faith will become strong by hearing. So let's continue to hear. Like what he says, faith comes by hearing. And yes, how can we hear? We have to associate with those who have the faith and hear from them. They will transfer the energy to us. All right?
Yes, beloved Gurudev. Beloved Gurudev, my final question is in regards to Prahlada Maharaj. He has a father. His father is a demon. Now, some of us, we have parents that maybe they are not on the level, or their demonic nature is not on the level of Hiranyakashipu or others, but they have very offensive mentality. Now, Prahlada Maharaj, his faith never waver, his conviction never waver. But some of us, based on the kind of like upbringing we have, like we have naturally been taught to be obedient, to be respectful to parents and everything. But sometimes we have parents that maybe their faith, their belief is different from our belief. Now, how do we do our activities in such a way that we don't become offensive to them? Because if we ignore them, they'll be like, oh, you have been disrespectful to me. I am your parents and I'm your mother. Now, how do we do our activities in such a way that we don't become disrespectful to them, and we also become our character becomes a way that can truly create transformation in their life, beloved Gurudev?
In our mind, we should not hate them. In our mind, we should not hate them, but we should maintain distance. Because they are spirit souls and they give us the body we have. We are, everyone who has taken birth in this material world, all conditions who have taken birth in this material world, we naturally have three deaths. Naturally, every condition, so we have three deaths. One to the demigods, because they are supplying our natural necessities for living. They also provide the opportunity for sacrifice, performing sacrifice. It's all demigods. Krishna recommended in Bhagavad Gita, sacrifice. So demigods are responsible for this. So we owe them, we are indebted to them. Two, we are indebted to our parent who has given us this body and the inheritance which they will give to us to maintain our material necessities and also our own offspring who are indebted in this way. We have to also produce. This is natural. We also have to produce. If you don't do that, we are indebted. It's a debt. Except one is a devotee, not just a devotee. One is a Swami. Otherwise, we have to produce children, offspring. Otherwise, we can go to hell for that. And the last one is the acharya, the sadhus, the sages, who are giving us spiritual knowledge and give us the scriptures and teaching us the scriptures. We're indebted to them. All of us are naturally indebted in these three ways. So we respect them for giving us this body so we can do Krishna consciousness. But if they are antagonistic and are not favorable for Krishna consciousness, we will show them respect in the mind, but we'll keep distance. And we should not have time to argue with them because that will make them more offensive. We should not argue with them. Something they say which is not part of them, just keep quiet. When they finish, they say Hare Krishna, finish. We can call them and greet them sometimes, that is okay. We're not going to visit them when they will be very angry and very disturbed and start to condemning and blaspheming. If that is there, then we should keep distance. keeping distance, Krishna mentioned Bhagavad Gita chapter 6, renunciation does not mean hatred. So we keep distance, it's not hatred. So that we should do. We help them and we help ourselves by not making them offensive and not also becoming offensive to them. We don't help them to make offenses, neither are we offensive to them. All right?
Yes, beloved Gurudev. Thank you very, very much, beloved Gurudev. I'm grateful.
Any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Shri Gurudev. We don't have any other question. Yananda Prabhu can conclude today's session.
Okay, thank you very much.
So Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. So we thank you again for enlightening us on this very pertinent issue. And we hope to meet you next week at the same time, the same day. Okay, thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Prahlada Maharaja ki jai.
Bhakti Damodara Maharaja ki jai.
Jai.
Man Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Gora Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Gora